Welcome to the TrueLife News Show. Today, guys, $1,000 more per month is what this new huge budget reconciliation, big beautiful bill is bringing to the average American's pocket, guys. This is huge. You heard it. We've got the receipts. $1,000 more per month. This is the biggest win for the average American family in God knows when, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Trump is doing everything that he can in his genius business mindset to ensure that not only do Americans get put first, but we win the midterms, guys. He is not only doing this additional, the biggest tax breaks ever, guys, putting money back into Americans' pockets. Like I said, I got to say it again, guys, because it's that big. $1,000 more per month for the average American. Not only that, he's pushing through the bills of the no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, and they just passed the no tax on tips. The big beautiful bill is going to be bringing Americans such huge savings, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. It's going to cut taxes for people making under $80,000 or less. This is where the $1,000 per month is coming into. Wages will increase $6,100 to $11,600 per worker. The typical family will see up to $13,000 more in take-home pay annually. Tips will no longer be taxed for service members. Overtime will no longer be taxed for hourly workers such as police officers and first responders. And guys, you think that Trump is stopping there? He's not only putting America first, making sure to let us keep our hard-earned money, but he's going after the corruption. He's officially had his girl, Nancy Mace, Representative Nancy Mace, just file official resolutions to expel representatives of Congress that have assaulted ICE agents, guys. This is official now. The official resolutions to expel these representatives have been placed. We have seen that these Democratic representatives who tried to barge in, pushed, assaulted the ICE agents to get into the criminal illegal ICE facility have now all been, has resolutions to expel them. LaMonica McIver from the U.S. House of Representatives and more. She said, no one is above the law. Assault is a crime and the American people deserve better. Not only there, guys, because you know where we're getting all this money? The Doge savings. Doge just eliminated 120 contracts worth $3.1 billion this week, guys. Such huge savings. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is a special one for you guys. 4.05 million was for a contract for technical services in Mozambique. Mozambique, we were handling technical services, and you want to know what those technical services are? Nobody knows. That's all it says, guys. There was a wire transfer for technical services to another country. Nobody knows what it's all about, but it's been canceled. Trump is giving back hard-working Americans their hard-earned money, guys. Again, $1,000 more per month for the average American staying in their pocket. Instead of giving it to the federal government, you get to keep that money. So again, this is huge. Not only is he taking care of tariffs on the foreign policy aspect, securing the United States, putting more money back into Americans' pockets. This is going to drive an economic boom. This is what he promised, though. And we can do this now, guys. We got so much Doge savings. It is astronomical. It's huge. America is winning, baby. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Got a big, huge show for you today, guys. Breaking news. Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers, all of our viewers. Thank you so much for your support. We are truly grateful that you support our channel. If you're not subscribed, though, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want to take care of you every day with the breaking news, guys. We bring the receipts. We show you everything from all different news outlets, the most breaking news every single day. So join our family. Want to say thank you to our members for your continuous support, guys. We couldn't do it without you. Tomorrow, remember, on the 22nd of every single month, when you are a member or you give a super chat donation, we take that money and we donate it live on stream. This guy, you see me, giving thousands of dollars live on stream. And tomorrow on the 22nd, remember, this is on the 22nd of every month, we will be giving our largest donation to a charity, to a children's home, live on stream because of you guys. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all show them some love in the chat to the members, and I want to give some special love to Totally by Design, Luis Thomas, Nita Eschetti, Pamela Connolly, guys, for the super chats, and Andy. Thank you so much for the super chat. Show them some love in the chat. Welcome Amy INFJ to the family, guys. We got a big show today. If you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, this is huge, guys. Again, I want to reiterate. We're gonna show you the whole thing in a moment. $1,000 per month more to the average American's pockets from the big beautiful bill tax cuts. Remember, Trump said they were going to be the biggest ever. We've got more official resolutions to expel representatives that assaulted ICE agents. We have billions of dollars in additional savings from Doge. We have increased savings from all the tax cutting the federal tax spending. But guys, this is a big one. The Biden administration, Trump is going after them. The Biden administration knew ahead of time that the COVID vaccines increase the risk of heart problems in Americans and downplayed them. Senate report from Ron Johnson said the U.S. health officials knew about the risk of myocarditis. Those officials downplayed the health concern, and now Trump is going after all of them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. This is a big, big show today. Check it out.
If you are a Democrat in Washington, the playbook has been the same for the last century. Lie. Lie to the public, lie to voters, lie to everyone. Just lie to make the narrative, bend to your message. Joe Biden has cancer, meaning we should all suddenly forget that he's also got dementia. And they are doing the exact same thing with Donald Trump. At least they're trying. Lie to the point where they don't even hide it anymore. According to a new poll, Donald Trump's approval rating is now at 51%, which is pretty good. Any president would be just fine with more than half the country approving of the job that they're doing.
Yes.
So how does the New York Times cover that story? Well, they lie. Here's the headline. The one thing helping Donald Trump's approval rating, some people are not paying attention. Oh yeah, that must be it, New York Times. People aren't paying attention. I'm sure that's the reason. Let me ask you this. What about the 64% of Americans who said Joe Biden shouldn't run for president again in 2024, according to a New York Times poll? What was happening then, New York Times? Were people just not paying attention? The truth is that people were paying attention then, and they are paying attention now. Hundreds of thousands of people are watching this program right now, and I thank every one of you for it. The majority of people watching are not doctors, though. Yet somehow most of you could tell that there was something wrong with Joe Biden. But Democrats today are doing exactly what they've always done when they don't like the truth. They lie and they try to bend the narrative back to them.
Seems to me entirely inappropriate that at this moment in time, when President Biden is dealing with a serious and aggressive form of cancer, there are Republicans who are peddling conspiracy theories and want us to look backward. And Republicans want to fan the flames of conspiracy theories at this moment. No, thank you.
I've got to admit, I'm already tired of this poor Joe Biden narrative. Joe Biden's diagnosis should not be the end of this story. It should be the beginning. And isn't the timing fascinating? Why did the Biden family suddenly release this information essentially on the same day that the audio from the embarrassing Biden-Hur interview came out? Door number one, the Bidens wanted that story to take over the news cycle so people wouldn't focus on how bad and how out of touch Joe Biden sounded on those tapes.
And guys, again, remember, there's just so much wind, so much is going on. That's why I'm going to make sure that you see everything, guys, even just like this. This is from the Rapid Response Team, guys, from the White House. This is, look, here, I told you guys, this is the big, beautiful bill is changing everything. One big, beautiful bill claiming the only ones who benefit from it are billionaires. That's what the Democrats are saying. They're bringing lies across the board. But look what the Rapid Response 47 from the White House said. Here are the facts. $1,000 per month to the average American family. It will cut taxes for people making between $30,000 and $80,000 by 15%. Wages will increase between $6,000 and $11,000 per worker. The typical family will see up to $13,000 more in take-home pay. You tell me, guys, I bring the receipts. We are seeing everything change right now. Why? Because America is winning. Trump is making the right moves. The Democrats are going to keep trying to lie, but I'm showing you that Trump is making things happen, baby. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, this is changing everything.
Door number 2, the Bidens told the world that he had cancer to try and make Joe Biden seem more sympathetic. But that narrative really only coming from people who seem to have forgotten what Joe Biden did to this country. John McCain's daughter, Megyn McCain, tweeting, "I don't know if it's just my background, but I don't want to hear anything else about Biden's health cover-up, the tell-alls, interviews. Let the Biden family be in peace right now. This is all so sad and imprudent." Wow. And that's exactly how the Biden family wants people to react, Megyn. But imprudent is the wrong word. It's important. It's too important a story to drop.
100%.
Joe Biden's not your uncle or your neighbor. Joe Biden was the president of the United States 4 months ago today.
Gotcha.
Could be soon. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. We should be asking these questions today, now. And door number 3. The Biden family made the announcement to discredit Jake Tapper and his fancy new book and let their forever loyal friends in the media defend them once again, which they are faithfully doing once again.
I think that the majority of U.S. families will feel for the Bidens. I don't think this is a time for politics, but what I will say is that this administration has cut cancer funding research by 31% since 2025.
The Joe Biden we know is a man who has been very open about his challenges in life. He didn't need to tell us that he had...
Guys, you want to know how open they are? You want to know how open the Biden administration is? Let me show you how open they were. This came breaking news from the United States, guys. Look at this. Biden administration knew ahead of time that the COVID vaccines increased the risk of heart problems in Americans, downplaying them. Senate report from Ron Johnson. You want to talk about being fair and open and transparent with the American people? They lied again and again and again. So I don't want to hear it. It blows my mind. These people can sit there, defend lies, defend a corrupt, fraudulent administration when the American people not only suffered, are suffering today, are dying today because they weren't transparent. They gave this vaccine to people that didn't need it, and we've seen young people lose their lives because of this stupid myocarditis, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. It infuriates me that they will not tell the truth. Ronald Zimmerman, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Ronald some love in the chat, as well as Lay Lewis, who said Joe Biden was probably auto-pinning everything. I don't doubt it. Y'all show Lay and Ronald some love in the chat.
Gleason score of 9, stage 4 prostate cancer. He's a private citizen now. Every challenge that Joe Biden and Jill Biden have faced in their life, they have taken the American people along to help us when we face the same challenges.
This is not something he was carrying around or that he was hiding. And as Anna said, we know about his struggles. We know about his struggles, and now we know about this one. And I just, again, want to commend the people who cut their tongues off and said, get well soon.
The people who didn't cut their tongues off, I have a place where they can put them.
Be all good, yeah.
So funny. That's a nice visual, huh? What do you mean, put our tongues? What are you implying there? And oh yeah, Joe Biden didn't need to tell the public anything because he was diagnosed after he left office, right? There's no way Joe Biden had cancer when he was in the White House. There's no way he was lying to the public right up until like noontime on Saturday, right? Wrong. Obviously, the saddest part about that is there are people out there right now who believe that's the truth. And that's the worst part of this. There are people who truly believe that Jill Biden is a loving wife. True transparency would have been a national address to the country 3 years ago, announcing that while he maybe feels fine at the moment, which also would have been a lie, Joe Biden is not going to be running for president in 2024. But none of that ever happened.
Guys, and I got to show you something too, because again, the lying was so bad. Remember, if it wasn't for the debate, Biden would have ran. We experienced this, what you see on screen, because this changed everything, guys. Our entire country for the past 4 years it will be forever changed because the amount of spending that we did, the inflation, the unsecure border letting over 20 million people in. Look at the chart at the very top. This is 2020, Trump versus Biden. And then all of a sudden, overnight, Biden gets 20 million votes. And then it was Trump versus Kamala. Well, guess what? Where did the spike go? Why didn't we see a same spike of the additional 20 million votes like Biden got? When you look at the chart below, the amount of millions of additional votes that Biden got over Trump makes no sense, guys. Nothing correlates. Nothing looks right. The Biden administration was a fraud. They lied to the American people. I believe the 2020 election was rigged. It was stolen. And we're only finding out all the truth after the fact. After all the corruption and after all the lies and after all the damage has been done. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm so tired of us always finding out after the fact. But that's why we need free and fair elections. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support.
Almost uniquely Democratic tradition of Democratic presidents lying to the public and a complicit media covering up the truth. This has been going on for more than 100 years. It started with Woodrow Wilson. He had a stroke in office in 1919. He was planning on running for a third term. It left him almost completely incapacitated. He couldn't speak. The press knew, but they kept the truth from the American people. His wife was essentially the president for the final year of his term. He died right after he left office. Then, just a few years later, it was FDR. FDR had polio, and he was in a wheelchair for his entire presidency. But most Americans, like over 95% at that time, had no idea because the media didn't talk about it. His health was so bad in 1944 that after he won his fourth term, he died just a few months later. And Harry Truman took over and dropped.
Guys, again, like what we're seeing is just the beginning of exposing the corruption, the fraud, the waste, the abuse, everything. Guys, I bring the receipts on everything because this is what's happened. The Biden family paid a doctor to give Biden's son, a clean bill of health letter. The lending further credence that Joe Biden concealed his cancer diagnosis is the fact that he paid his family's doctor to give Beau Biden a clean bill of health letter despite having terminal brain cancer. The cover-up was revealed in Chapter 3 of the book Original Sin. So when we look at cover-up after cover-up after cover-up, lie after lie after lie, this just shows us, guys, we have not been living in any way. What you've known over the past 4 years, we're barely scratching the surface of what's going to become the truth. But again, too, we're hearing it from the people themselves, guys. I hope you appreciate this because this is a huge, huge video you're about to see next over what is going to come to the United States. And then I got the special treat for you guys about the $1,000 that's coming to the average American working family making under $80,000 or less a year, guys. Such a huge, huge win for the Trump administration. Check this out.
Rudy Giuliani. This is like the old days. Rudy, first off, Rudy, you just were not right about Joe Biden. You were so right so many years ago. You got it in print at finally the book that we put out. That's amazing. The Crime Family, but you've been right on this forever about him being, dementia, not being there, Praetorian Guard, put him in office in 2020. You have fought this good fight. You've been indicted about it in Arizona. We'll get to all that, not just Arizona, all over the place. Talk to me about Joe Biden and the cancer cover-up, the Praetorian Guard cover-up. What's your recommendation? I think we need a formal investigation, not a House. We don't need Comer doing it and then fail 2 years later and write some book that nobody reads. We need a grand jury. We need prosecutors. We need a special counsel. Your thoughts, Rudy Giuliani?
Well, you're absolutely right, and it's a very broad one. It's really has to do with the people who cover this up. Possibly it doesn't meet the legal definition of treason, but it is treason. If you and I know that the President of the United States is non-compass menace, we're double-crossing our country if we let him stay there. Now, in my book that you wrote the forward to, thank you, on page 143, 144, I go back to something in the hard drive. So please remember, this was available to them in December of 2019. By them, I mean the FBI
This is the laptop.
and the Attorney General.
People understand this. This is Hunter's laptop from hell, which Rudy broke. Continue on, sir.
Yeah, and this is right out of it. It jumps right out at you. It's a conversation with his questionable psychiatrist, Keith Abloh. Abloh, the psychiatrist, says to Hunter Biden, does he recall details, though, with the dementia he has?
Wow.
That's the doctor. Hunter said, not much these days. We're going back to 2019, my friend.
Guys, this is huge. So literally we have it from the psychiatrist. We have it from even Hunter that Joe Biden has dementia as well. Guys, I'm telling you, the cancer is the first part. Dementia is going to come out next. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is mind-blowing that we literally are moving towards a new wave of truth, but it is so bad what has happened to our country.
But since it's all fake news anyway, I don't see the problem. The psychiatrist, Abloh, is he a go for sure? Running? Hunter says, according to inside sources, which I can neither confirm nor deny, he's in it to win. Abloh says, any man who can triumph over dementia is a giant. Think what he could do for our nation's needed recovery. Think of what he did do. Hunter, you're such an but that made me laugh out loud. Now, they go on talking about his dementia. It jumps right out at you. That was available almost a year before he stood for office.
Okay, but Rudy,
the FBI had gone through it completely.
Hang on, full stop. It was available in November of 2019 to two guys who were Republican nominees, Bill Barr, the Attorney General of the United States, and Chris Wray, the Director of the FBI, that both reported to President Trump. So what happened here? What happened?
I don't know. What happened here is and much more was available to them. They let them get impeached when they had definitive evidence that whole thing with the Ukraine was a total put-up job, the conversation with Zelensky, et cetera, and they let their president get impeached. I mean, I don't understand why Barr is not under investigation. I don't understand why the former head of the FBI, I don't understand why Comey's not in jail.
Rudy, if the President of the United States picked up the phone and called you and said, hey, come over to the Oval, I got to talk to you, and said, I need a special counsel that can start with a running start and knows all the details about Ukraine and other things, would you take that job?
Let's
today?
go.
Sure, I have my hand up already. I've taken the oath for Ronald Reagan.
Okay, what would you do? Walk me through. Okay, what would you do? Tell me, what would you do?
Well, I'd have to start several investigations and then see if they can be merged into one. First of all, I do the one outlined in this book. I mean, I already have an outline. And that is the RICO case against the crime family. There'd be four specific predicate acts of bribery. They would involve Russia. They would involve Ukraine. They would involve China, probably about 8 separate ones, bribes from China.
Wow.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you a quid pro quo for China. He got altogether 31 point something million that we can count, right, from China. First thing he does when he gets his hands on Afghanistan is he gives up the Bagram Air Base. Bagram Air Base is 400 miles from China. No American in their right mind would give it up unless the American were bribed. He never did anything to pursue recovering for us.
Guys, and this is why it's so important that Pete Hex has said a couple of days ago that they are launching a full investigation into the Afghanistan withdrawal. Guys, all this stuff is starting to make sense. And again, when you hear about the priorities of what they're doing. I got to show you this because whenever it comes to the Democrats, they lie. That the rapid response team from the White House literally put out that the Representative Presley is lying in this video. Here are the facts. $1,000 per month to the average American family. It will cut taxes for people making between $30,000 and $80,000 by 15%. Wages will increase by $6,000 to $11,000 per worker. The typical family will see up to $13,000 more in take-home pay. These are the things like we are seeing this from Trump and from the Trump administration. We didn't see anything close to this from the Democrats or Biden. Biden was literally spending and trying to get this Green New Deal scam, unloading the borders, giving thousands of dollars a piece to illegals. And this is where you're seeing where Trump is putting America first, baby. This is what I'm talking about. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Want to thank so much Andy for the super chat, who said Patel and Bongino are flipping like pancakes. Who are they protecting? Epstein killed himself with toilet paper. The guards were drugged. Cameras off, comment please. Guys, it's a big. I seen the video. It doesn't look good for Patel and for Bongino. Thank you so much, Ronald Zimmerman, for the super chat. Lay Lewis, Larry Pickett said April hits hard, makes me donate. I love it. Guys, y'all show them some love in the chat. But right here, guys, you cannot deny this. You cannot deny what we are seeing right here. The typical family will see up to $13,000 more in take-home pay. They are changing the game for the average American family. I love it. I hope you love it. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, this is what's going to put America families first.
From China. He allowed fentanyl to come into this country at records that exceed any other American presidency almost combined. So there are plenty of quid pro quos for the Chinese money that he got that no sane or insane president would do. If he's got the beginning of dementia, and remember, we had Mark Caputo on here the other day who broke the story about the Herd tapes, and he said, hey, he reported in 2019 how people were talking about how Biden didn't have his fastball. And the Axios had another story yesterday about how Democrats in the House in 2023 were saying he shouldn't run again. But in the first campaign, are you going to also go around the Praetorian Guard, the deep state that put him in? Remember, why did Ray and Barr not surface this? Because Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas or one of those people would have been the nominee. They had their nominee. They had the cipher. They were going to steal the election round, which was Joe Biden. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you can go back to Hillary extorting him with this back in 2015 when she told him that she knew all about Hunter Biden. I mean, everybody knew about Hunter Biden. It was not only ones who didn't know about it, the press. And the reality is you also would put them all in a grand jury. Now, that's very different than one of those silly congressional hearings. First of all, they have to answer. And if you feel that they're not materially involved, you can give them immunity. If they don't answer, you put them in jail. That's how I. So you would impanel. Okay, so hang on. So you're telling me you take over special counsel, you would impanel a grand jury right away, or would you designate the FBI to give you some investigative apparatus? Really, I want you to walk me through your critical path because Cash and I would have to have Rudy Giuliani. Are you the best guy to do this? Yes or no? Are you the best guy? Well, I am. I'm the best guy to do it in terms of knowledge and experience. Let's go, baby. Having never lost a case as a prosecutor, including some of the most difficult cases of the 20th century. Am I the best? And the press will go nuts. But if whoever takes this job, at least I'm already, they've gone nuts on me already. And I've already proven, I can put out, as you said, for everything they say about me, I can prove I told the truth. I'm not worried about the media. I'm not worried about the media. They're defeated anyway. What about, can you work 18-hour days? To do this, the head guy here has got to be 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. You agree? I'm going to be doing that until we have my funeral, Steve.
Let's go! Guys, again, Rudy Giuliani, guys, making it happen. Look, I just want to see the truth. I don't care who brings it. I just want to see the truth. But look at this right here, guys. Because this, again, I hate it whenever the Democrats are coming out and saying, oh my goodness, you're taking away from all the kids, all the people, the starving people across the world. You know what? only 12% of USAID funds actually reach intended recipients, according to Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So we were giving about $60 billion to USAID, 12%. We're talking about we're talking about 3 billion? 6.4 billion, guys? If that, like, this is a joke of how much fraudulent money laundering, corruption, and we only find this out, guys. Look at this. We only find this out because of the administration that's in there that wants to expose the fraud, the waste, the abuse. And that's where, again, guys, when I hear of putting Americans first, giving them back their hard-earned money with what you're about to see next, this is what matters to me. Listen to this. You're going to love this, guys.
Yesterday, House Speaker Mike Johnson put out a statement on a quote. Democrats claim this legislation is just a tax break for the wealthy. That is a lie. The One Big Beautiful Bill makes permanent the 2017 Trump tax cuts, which gave the largest tax cut to low-income working families. The Council of Economic Advisors, CEA, found extending the Trump tax cuts will increase wages up to $11,600. The typical American family with 2 children will see their take-home pay increase by up to $13,300 a year.
God, that's
and with
what I'm
that,
talking
let's welcome
about.
in Kansas Senator Roger Marshall, member of the Senate Finance Committee and Budget Committee, also a member of the GOP Doctors Caucus. Senator, welcome, and thanks for coming on. We started off this segment hearing from Democratic Congressman McGovern calling the reconciliation bill ugly, saying he's clearly not in favor of it. I'm guessing you feel differently.
No, absolutely. You know, to your point just a second ago, when we pass this bill, it's going to mean $1,000 per month of more money in hardworking Americans' pockets. That's a big deal. You live on a $60,000, $80,000 a year, and I'm going to give you $1,000 more each month to help feed your family. All the things, maybe get a new fishing boat eventually as well. That's always been my dream, is to have a nice fishing boat. So I think that, look, I thought about this weekend during a baseball game. If the House, if this was a baseball game, the House is going into the 7th inning, and we're going to have to bring our closer in sooner than expected. So we're going to bring in Donald Trump. And you think about all the great closers in the history of baseball. You got Goose Gossage, who had a fastball. So we'll bring him in the 8th inning, and then the 9th inning, President Trump will be like Mario Rivera, who has his cutter. So look, if it wasn't for President Trump, this doesn't happen. But I do believe in Speaker Johnson, President Trump. They'll get it across the finish line, send it over here, and we'll make the bill even better.
Well, I'm with you on the fishing boat. I'd love a brand new boat. That'd be great. And I'm sure a lot of other folks would love that as well. I want to ask you about President Trump and his visit to Capitol Hill, which is, as we pointed out, a rarity for the Commander-in-Chief to go over to Capitol Hill and to really
rarity.
get in the...
But guys, again, it's a rarity, but what I love is that it was misdirection, guys. Everybody thought the no tax on Social Security, no tax on tips, and no tax on overtime was going to be pushed through the big, beautiful bill. Trump actually got it pushed through the Senate first as individual bills. And guess what? The first one passed yesterday, 100-0, guys. That never happens in the Senate. But it happened because no Democrat wants to face their constituents and say, oh, I voted against no tax on tips. There was nothing else to vote for. If we would do that more, we would see so much more success as a party to put American first policies. No tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, because no Democrat's going to vote against that. Because it puts America first, guys. That's what I love. Trump is a genius.
Nitty-gritty of this bill. How much of an impact does that make?
It's all the difference in the world. If you think about where the big divisions are on this bill, it's the salt tax. Here you have some Republicans from districts that are blue, and they want this salt tax to go up. And by the way, it's going to cost $1 trillion over the next 10 years. And you have conservative Republicans, myself, who say the biggest issue in the country right now is our national debt. And there's so many other things we could do with that $1 trillion rather than spending it, giving these people from blue states a big tax break as well. So President Trump is trying to find that sweet spot. This bill is not perfect. This is not the bill that a conservative Republican like myself would write, but we're getting there. This is the first step towards a balanced budget. We need to deliver on the president's promises.
The Senate took some action of its own yesterday. We saw no taxes on tips. Unanimous support here.
Let's go.
And that was sort of isolated, right? This big, beautiful bill's got everything in it. But what do you think about that, Senator? The idea of sort of picking apart different pieces of key Trump administration agenda points
and
voting
guys.
on that and then seeing how people decide.
Yeah, so by the way, these are very popular concepts as well, and this gets the Democrats on record. So they'll reject the whole bill saying that they don't like one part of it. So this helps get them on record. Are they really serious about helping hard-working Americans out there?
100%.
So I think Ted Cruz led the no tax on tips yesterday. We're leading the no tax on overtime, and then we'll do the no tax on Social Security as well. And regardless, President Trump, those are his goals. Somewhere, though, at the end of the day, we've got to cut some spending. Right now, the House has cut about $1.5 trillion in spending over the next 2 years. We really need to get to $2 trillion in cuts to be able to pay for President Trump's priorities like we just talked about.
Guys, again, it's always about what are the priorities. It's putting America first. Like, we are truly seeing a huge, huge win across the board in this. Even, guys, this is just accountability at its finest, guys. Representative Nancy Mace, this is a representative currently in Congress, we just filed an official resolution to expel LaMonica McIver from the U.S. House of Representatives. No one is above the law. Assault is a crime. The American people deserve better. That's what I'm talking about. Those people that were trying to break into an ICE facility, literally pushing, shoving, hitting all the ICE agents to try to get in to do what? To see illegal criminals? Are you kidding me? Guys, this is nuts. If you appreciate this, all this exposure, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. I want to say thank you so much, Andy, for the super chat. He said the real cover-up is over the past 4 years, a secret committee led by Obama illegally ran the country while Biden was in a vegetative state. What? Hey, that's really what was happening. MV Mr. Mudflap, welcome to the family. Let's go. Y'all show MV some love in the chat. Guys, we are seeing some amazing things. They're digging deeper into this whole Biden issue, guys, and it's getting worse. Because again, too, if Biden wasn't running the country and he was a puppet, who was running it and then who made all the shots? Because what happened is essentially treason, guys. Listen to this.
With the Biden tell-alls coming out, Democrats are trying to scrub the blood off their hands. Politico says the tell-alls are devastating and calls the former president an ailing geriatric leader surrounded by mendacious aides. The New York Times admits Biden was enfeebled. The Washington Post says Biden was an elderly, egotistical president shielded from reality by a slavish coterie of loyalists.
Wow.
The media is starting to confess that the cover-up they called a conspiracy was actually a cover-up. Quote, no serious journalistic outlet is pushing back. Now it's the prevailing narrative. What they're doing now is pointing fingers and asking each other, what did you know? And when did you know it? Over something everybody else already knew.
The news is selling you a book.
Oh, guys, sorry, I will get in trouble with this guy. You cannot, they're big on that, on not showing his stuff.
Profiting from not reporting the news. Is this the new business model? Just a never-ending cycle of cover-ups and tell-alls, lies and confessions? Because that can't last. You can't punk your audience and keep it. Even The View is like, what is Jake Tapper, an author or an anchor?
All he's doing is hawking his book on the CNN.
and he's flanked by other people, Ryan Stelter and Van Jones also hawking his book. When did CNN become the place to hawk your book? Is Wolf Blitzer coming out with a cookbook?
Guys, how hilarious is this to see the Democratic Party literally imploding upon itself because some people are trying to get ahead of it. Some people are trying to make money off of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is hilarious. I got to fast forward just a little bit right there.
Democrats say Tapper's 100% complicit.
I'm looking forward to reading it because I want to see if people like Jake Tapper, hold themselves and their networks like CNN accountable for how much they didn't report on, because they're all complicit in not calling a thing in regards to President Biden.
Tapper's taking on water, and he's trying to survive. He just hired a crisis PR expert to cover up his cover-up. Jake's new talking point is this: being wrong isn't a crime.
Alex and I are here to say that conservative media was right and conservative media was correct, and that there's...
Go ahead, guys. Mark the calendars. Put a stamp in it. One of the lead news reporters on a left-wing media outlet is coming out and saying, what? The conservative media was right? Really? I think America was right. I think common sense was, did you watch the videos of Trump? of Biden? You get this, guys. Is this not the worst? Like, it's one thing to try to cover it up. It's another thing to try to cover it up and then expose it and then try to make money off of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Kathy Brewer, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Kathy some love in the chat.
Could be a lot of soul searching, not just among me, but among the legacy media. Conservative media absolutely has every right to say, we were hip to this, and the legacy media was not. Now, I do not accept that I was part of a cover-up. I do not accept that I was just providing cover for Joe Biden.
Jake searched his soul and found out he wasn't a part of the cover-up. No one believes that. But if the media is admitting they were wrong about Biden, when are they going to admit they were wrong about Trump? Are we ever going to get, maybe he's not a racist dictator. Maybe he just wanted to put America first. This book tour has everything. I told you so's and apologies.
Knowing what I know now, obviously, I feel tremendous humility about my coverage. That Laura Trump interview, for example, she saw something that I did not see at the time, 100%. And I own that. After we did the research for this book, and I realized how bad his acuity issues were, I called Laura Trump and I said, you were right.
Wow. Jake didn't see what else everybody saw. 72% of the country said Biden wasn't fit for office.
Wow.
And shouldn't serve another.
Guys, this is in June 28th through the 30th in 2024. Guys, what a revelation. Guys, are we not living in some crazy, crazy times? Like, did you ever think, guys, please let me know in the comments, did you ever think that we would be seeing this craziness like we are now?
Term. That was a CNN poll. Jake thought Biden shaking hands with ghosts was just Joe being Joe.
The comments of Joe Biden making gaffes, saying things stupid, tripping, are all important and all deserved to be aired and all deserve scrutiny. But as you know, Megyn, because even though you look 30 years younger than me, we're roughly the same age, Joe Biden has been saying stupid things for decades. Okay?
I get what you're saying, but this minimizes it too, because it was more than saying stupid things. But I'm telling you, like over here in my ecosphere, we were covering all of these. Now with the current White House, I have some connections. With the Joe Biden White House, I had none, but you did, and so while. You've been in Washington 30 years, Jake. You guys, you and CNN have White House connections, but there was no effort, none, to get to the bottom of this.
The media held back scoops, waited until Biden got cooed, and then cashed in on book deals. But before the coup, they told you Biden was at the top of his game.
Yep.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
Oh, my goodness.
Now Scarborough's a Biden denier.
Looking back at that, do you say, well, it was misleading to say best Biden ever without caveating it and say, except on the days when he's not the best Biden ever?
Well, but I never saw those days personally.
Well, you did, because you saw him address a dead congresswoman, and you saw him in South Carolina. There were plenty of days in public when he was not the best Biden ever, and of course, shortly after,
he stumbled and bumbled around, Mark. I mean, yeah, he certainly did. Donald Trump did. Other politicians did. Those are some of the clips bad? Yeah, they certainly are bad. Put in the proper context. I'm just not going to freak out and melt down on one or two clips here or there.
So when you go on live TV and you tell America something that's the truth, say, this is true. You better be damn sure that's the truth.
Ain't that the truth?
It cost Morning Joe their audience. No one watches them anymore.
Yep.
The audience got doged. Tapper says Biden was quarantined from his whole cabinet.
There's a cabinet meeting in October 2023, and then several cabinet members told us for the book they never saw him again in person for months and months and months. He was kept away from them. And cabinet secretaries we spoke to for the book told us it was weird. One of them did have a meeting with Biden in between that last cabinet meeting of 2023 in October and the debate, and described him as being disoriented and out of it. And I think the degree to which he was being hidden from even their own administration cannot be overstated.
God,
remember the
so
Biden
bad.
White House was using AutoPen? Trump wants that investigated too.
Guys, let me know. Do you think this is the biggest scandal in American history that a president, guys, a president of the United States was hidden, covered up, he was not fit to be president, and yet the Biden administration hid him, guys? This is bad. It makes it look really bad on America, but it's better. Trump is super strong as a leader and is helping America to be first, but this just blows my mind. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I want to say thank you so much, John Rampy, for the super chat. Let's go. He said, I love the way President Trump calls out the evil media. 100%. And thank you so much, Patsy Garcia, who said, Poppy Trump is making America great again one day at a time. I love it. Let's go. Y'all show Patsy some love in the chat, too.
We're going to start looking into this whole thing with who signed this legislation. Who signed legislation opening our border? I don't think he knew. I said there's nobody that would want an open border. Nobody. And now I find out that it wasn't him. He auto-penned it. Who was operating the auto-pen? This is a very serious thing. We had a president that didn't sign anything.
Biden was a ghost in his own White House. Republican Congressman Tim Burchett from Tennessee says those thousands of pardons that Biden signed, those were auto-penned. And White House aides may have gotten rich.
You're going to find staffers that were able to take forms, get them, and run them through some sort of bogus legal system, and then they auto-penned them. And there's probably people out on the street that shouldn't be, but somebody got rich off that.
Somebody got rich,
and I think those people, I hate to say it, but you'll see something probably horrible happen to some of those people because it goes up the chain. This is a very dangerous town to play games in.
Wow.
And White House aides were getting rich too. Mike Donnellan, one of the guys in Biden's tight little inner circle, he got paid $4 million to advise the campaign. What campaign? Staffers called it outrageous when they found out. The Kamala campaign, they were also getting fleeced for millions. Oprah, Bruce, Beyonce. So who knows what was going on?
Guys,
the only
this is
reason
so
we
bad.
even know about any of this is because Biden bombed the debate. And then after the debate, everybody started admitting it. One campaign advisor recounted a post-debate discussion with Biden aboard Air Force One. What are we doing here? The advisor thought as the president spoke. This guy can't even form an effing sentence. Democrats went out and lied to you and said Biden just had the sniffles and attacked you for telling the truth. Stephen A. says Democrats deserve a spanking.
What did the Democratic Party do when people brought up Joe Biden and his debilitation? They didn't just deny it.
They attacked and attempted to ostracize those who would dare question it. And come to find out, as the days and the weeks and the months go by, how so many knew all along. And not only did they not admit it, they condemned those who said so.
Dang.
That's how I'm comparing them to Lance Armstrong. Think about it.
Now Democrats don't want to talk about it. Don Lemon, another Biden denier, says let's move on.
I am so sick of all of this Joe Biden consternation. What Joe Biden did or didn't do, what reporters did or didn't do. The country has moved on.
No,
Joe
it
Biden
hasn't.
has moved on. And why are we talking about an old man who has cancer, prostate cancer? Why are you kicking someone when they are down? If they believe that Joe Biden was selfish, if they believe Joe Biden should have dropped out, perhaps he should have. But that is not the question right now. That is in the rearview mirror. What are you doing? And they should stop hiring all these frickin' Trump sycophant MAGA people and promoting them just to say outrageous, outlandish lies and
CBS, they're trying to cover up the cover up. They say Biden was too old to test for cancer.
He's 82. Normally, doctors will stop screening for prostate cancer at 75 or so because after that, the prostate cancers you typically pick up are very slow growing. And so the harms of all of the testing and treatment for something that may not kill you, you're talking about risk versus benefit. It may not be worth the risk.
Wow.
CBS, I think, just said Biden's life wasn't worth saving because he was already pretty old. Do you think Biden agrees? He's only the president. The former White House doctor, Ronnie Jackson, says something's not adding up.
Go back and look at the medical records. President Bush, when he was in office, got a PSA done and as part of his physical exam. So did President Obama. So did President Trump. There is no reason why President Biden wasn't receiving PSAs and prostate screening exams during his time in office. Or if he was, it wasn't reflected in the medical record, which means that Dr. O'Connor was lying to the American people again.
Biden's people are now they're telling us his last known prostate test was in 2014. That's over 10 years ago. Do you even believe that? I don't know. In 2008, Joe Biden was diagnosed with an enlarged prostate, and he was taking Flomax for it. He even had a polyp removed from his colon. Why didn't Dr. O'Connor test him for cancer? According to Tapper's book, the Bidens have a history of covering up cancer. When Beau was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer, the Bidens decided to say nothing for months. And Beau's doctor said he had a clean bill of health, even though he died 15 months later. Biden's had a history of bruises on his hands. Some are wondering if he was getting drug cocktails injected there. That's often where they put IVs.
Yeah.
Biden, before he dropped out, said the only thing that could force him out of the race was a medical condition. Listen.
Is there anything that you would look to, you personally, not anybody else, not other pundits, not even perhaps family members, that you would look to say, if I see that, I will reevaluate?
If there is some medical condition that emerged, if the doctors came to me and said, you got this problem, that problem.
Dang.
6 days later, he dropped out. So, what happened on that fateful weekend in Delaware? That's the question we need answers to.
Guys, what a huge bombshell that we are getting all this breaking news. But guys, I got to give you the good news because again, guys, this is what is so huge. The one big beautiful bill that is coming out. So the Democrats are trying to come out and they're trying to lie and say it's taken away from the average American and whatnot. The Rapid Response 47, which is from the White House, came out and said, you know what? Here are the facts. $1,000 per month to the average American family. It will cut taxes for people making between $30,000 and $80,000 by 15%. Wages will increase by $6,000 to $11,000 per worker. The typical family will see up to $13,000 more in take-home pay a year, guys. The truth matters. That's why they created this X account, because they knew that the Democrats, they don't care. They lie just spite themselves, guys. They lie like it's a popular thing to do. Want to say thank you so much, Mr. Tracy J. Norby with the super chat. Let's go. He said, I just have to acknowledge Orledge, y'all those who shown support here, and thank you all. Wait until tomorrow from y'all. Let's go. Y'all show Mr. Norby some love in the chat, as well as welcome Edward Wheeler to the family. Let's go. I love it. They had a huge fight, guys. So remember, I bring the receipts. The Freedom Caucus in committee in the Congress is fighting over the big beautiful bill and certain different things. So I brought you an update from that because again, they're just always trying to derail things, guys. But listen to this because this is from our boy Jim Jordan on what's actually going on. Check this out.
Jordan, Jim, I think the argument is this: pass this bill as is, and you'll get rapid growth in the second half of this year, which will take care, to some degree, of the deficit problem. That argument doesn't seem to be working with the deficit hawks.
Well, remember, this bill not only does that with the tax cuts that are in the legislation, but this embraces every key Republican principle we have. It says cut taxes, let parents and families keep more of their money to spend on their goals and dreams. It says provide money to keep the border secure that President Trump has now got secure. It says let's require work for able-bodied adults. That's good for taxpayers. That's good for our economy. Most importantly, it's good for the recipient. It gets them out to a better, more productive life. And this bill also says, let's give parents the ability to get to their kids to the school of their choice. School choice, tax cuts, secure border, and work requirements in our social welfare system. That's why Democrats hate it, because Democrats are against all those core conservative common sense principles that our party has. So that's why we should pass it. I know the deficits are too high and the debt's too big, and we need to deal with that. And this bill does to some degree, not as much as we should, but still it's a really good bill with those four fundamental Republican principles in it. Let's pass it. And as you say, Stuart, let's get our economy growing.
Are you confident that it will pass this week?
I hope it does this week, but I am confident it will pass at some point. Let's hope it's today. But if it takes a few more days, it takes a few more days. I'm for it. I think most Republicans see how good this thing is. I understand people want to have a few more dollars of savings, because when you're running huge deficits like we are and you're building up a $37 trillion debt, that's crazy. You got to deal with that. But you're right. Growth is always the first step. Start growing, then it's easier to constrain spending in the out years.
It's not that you're going to get rid of the deficit. It's that you're going to stop it getting any bigger and get a plateau on the deficit. The bond market would love that if we can get there. I really want to change the subject for a second. Are you going to investigate who was exercising presidential power in the last 2 years of Biden's presidency? Because the release of those tapes shows that he just didn't have it together.
Yeah, no, we were after those tapes. You know, we went to court and everything else, voted for contempt against the attorney general when he wouldn't give us the tapes. We actually think they waived the privilege they asserted on the audio tapes because they gave us the transcript. You gave us the transcript, but you won't give us the audio tape. But yeah, I do think it underscores what we all suspected, what we all saw, that President Biden wasn't in the best condition to be running the country. So I don't know who was running it. We may look at this. I'm talking with Chairman Comer of the Oversight Committee. It's kind of more suited for that committee, but we are looking at this because I do think you want to know. But to me, the biggest takeaway is what so many people in the media did, how they covered for it, how they lied about it, just like they lied about all these other issues, the laptop, the Benghazi, the Russian collusion, parents at school board, all those issues they lied about. I guess we probably shouldn't be surprised that they lied about Joe Biden and who was actually making decisions in the Oval Office.
Yeah, it stands out. Jake Tapper, I'm sure you've seen this. Jake Tapper wrote the book. I remember from 2020 when he interrupted Lara Trump, who had begun to question Biden's mentality. And Tapper, it just shut him down. Tapper just shut him right down. It was rude to her almost. You know, and now he's written a book about the cover-up, and he was part of it.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Tapper told us everything is fine. Now he's making money with the book, telling us, no, it wasn't fine. It was just the opposite. I mean, go figure. But remember, the left, I always say this, the left has a template, and they follow it time and time again. The left will tell a lie. Joe Biden's just fine. Big media will report the lie. Big tech will amplify the lie. And then when you tell the truth, they call you racist or some other name. They attack you. They come after you in a personal way. And then pretty soon you're proven right like we are now. But they'll either, they'll change the subject or they'll move on to the next lie. Yeah. That's just how you have to deal with the left today in American politics. But the good news is American people with their common sense see through all the baloney.
Yes, they do. They really do. All right,
guys, are we not living in such an amazing time of exposing all the fraud, waste, and abuse? If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for watching. For all of our subscribers and viewers, thank you so much for your support. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Let us take care of you every day with the breaking news, guys. We are growing as a True Life News family. We're so close to 200,000 subscribers. And remember, it's my job to serve you, to bust my butt and bring you the best show every single day. That's my job, and I take it super seriously. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that likes these videos, share these videos, to all the people that support us through your membership or through the super chats. Remember, guys, that on the 22nd of every single month, you see this guy donate thousands of dollars from your support live on stream to local charities. And tomorrow, we're going to be donating the biggest donation ever on the channel with your support, guys. And it means the world to me because, again, we couldn't do this without you. Whenever I just talk with my family, I say, and I told them, I said, our channel is going to be more than just reporting the news. We're going to give back. We're going to create a community of givers that want to give back and see lives changed. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of our members. I love y'all so much. Thank you. Love seeing the chat. Love participating in it, guys. And remember, we have a clean, good chat. If there's anybody that gets crazy in the chat, whether they're swearing or they're saying stupid stuff or spamming it, you know I'll block them in a heartbeat. I don't mess around with that. We protect our chat here on the True Life News. And we also want to say give some love to Amy, Andy, Ronald Zimmerman, Leigh Lewis, Larry Pickett, Mudflap, Mr. Mudflap, Kathy Brewer, John Reppy, Patsy Garcia, Mr. Tracy J. Norby, OG of the channel, Edward Wheeler. Guys, show them some love in the chat. Again, thank you so much, Chip Trap, for the super chat. Said a little something for the kiddies. Guys, thank y'all so much. I'm so excited about tomorrow's show and just so grateful that we get to do this for you every single day. We love you, appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.